Tonight, small steps bring Sydney back to life. Cheers to the weekend. Pubs, cafes, parks, a buzz, but old habits die hard. Health authorities launching a social distancing blitz. The federal government considers changes to the JobKeeper scheme as hundreds of thousands get back to work. Wild ride, an alleged drunk driver leaves a path of destruction across Sydney's inner west. An elective surgery backlog at hospitals across the state, the growing wait list causing headaches for patients. Manly's master coach backs some contentious rule changes ahead of the NRL's restart. And emotional homecoming, a White Island volcano survivor reunited with her best friend.
Live from Sydney, 7 News with Michael Usher.
Good evening. For the first time in 2 months, many Sydney-siders are heading out for a Saturday night meal following yesterday's easing in lockdown laws. Today, as a nation, we reached a remarkable milestone of 1 million tests with just 576 active cases. But we're being warned if we don't stick to social distancing, there will be consequences.
Friday night, back on the town.
It's Sydney the way it's meant to be.
It's great to be out.
A small step back to normal as restaurants welcome in guests 10 at a time.
We've sold a lot tonight, it's been great.
The Saturday morning coffee run stopped for a sit down.
Absolutely delightful to be waited on again.
Life begins again.
Along with a thirsty pub lunch.
It's been like the longest 8 weeks of my life.
Many sticking to social distancing rules, but the eased restrictions did let familiar comforts creep in. These scenes exactly what the government didn't want to see.
Very, very close together. That's not COVID safe. That's COVID dangerous.
Unless groups are from the same household, customers must sit 1.5 metres apart.
The virus is bubbling underneath the surface.
Over 9,000 people were tested in the last 24 hours. 3 new cases confirmed. The number of coronavirus cases caused by the increased activity will be known in around 2 weeks. The government will be watching that figure closely, but it won't reveal if there's a tipping point where restrictions can be further eased or they'll need to be tightened.
Every step we take towards more freedoms also has possible consequences.
Like a return to this, the Hornsby Westfield food court today, where even big name chains are still locked down. And while Broadway Shopping Centre was a cause for concern last week, today there was improved distancing, even as more stores opened. Group exercise was also back on, boot camp in groups of 10.
So what's it like to be back?
I wasn't looking forward to it.
And Bondi, now open for recreational use as gathering storm clouds made social distancing a breeze.
Let's go live to Miley Hogan in Chatswood tonight. Miley, good evening. So what are the police saying about the way they'll handle social distancing laws in restaurants?
Good evening, Michael. Well, police want to work with restaurant and cafe owners to make this transition smooth. You can see here how the owner has spaced out tables and customers so they can legally trade tonight. Police have said that if they do spot a potential breach at a cafe or a restaurant, there will be swift consultation to make them understand these changes. The Health Minister has even said it could be up to customers to say to the owner, hey, I think we should widen out these tables and these chairs to make it more safe. It appears that restaurants and customers are going to be given time to adjust to this new way of life. It is still a learning curve, Michael.
Is indeed. All right, Miley Hogan in Chatswood, thank you. There's some new hope tonight for businesses facing a tough road back. 7 News understands the federal government is working on a transition scheme to help small business owners continue to pay their staff when JobKeeper ends.
Canberra's Urban Pantry opens its doors.
Coffee for Zach.
It's one of thousands of small businesses across the country noticing an increase in customers sooner than expected.
We've definitely hit the ground running.
Treasury predicts that in the next few weeks, 98,000 Australians will return to work in the food industry, 13,000 in retail.
There are a lot more people in the shops than there was, say, 2 or 3 weeks ago.
And when most restrictions ease, more than 330,000 workers will return to hospitality, 76,000 in the arts and recreation industries, 44,000 construction jobs and 70,000 in transport and warehouses.
We would like to think that by early July, the economy is operating as close as possible to normal.
This means the 6-month shutdown has effectively been halved, and some businesses may not need the full JobKeeper wage subsidy.
There is a 3-month period for businesses, I guess, to get back into a more normal pattern.
But it won't be back to normal for the worst hit industries. And 7 News understands the federal government will consider making adjustments to JobKeeper next month that could see money saved, reallocated and extended to struggling businesses to help them transition to a new normal beyond September.
Tough time and we're just doing whatever we can for each other.
Rebuilding the economy is not just a job for governments. Economists say that ordinary Australians must also do their part. After staying home to control the health crisis, it's now time to go outside and resolve the economic crisis.
If you want to help Australia, that's the best way to do it. Get out there and do some spending.
If it's safe to do so. Jennifer Beshwati, 7 News.
A young woman's been arrested after allegedly smashing into 3 parked cars in Glebe. Police say the driver was drunk, blowing twice the legal limit and leaving a trail of wreckage in her wake.
One car rear-ended another, the boot completely smashed in. Airbags deployed in this BMW from the force of the crash. Just metres away, a white Suzuki Swift sits beaten and battered against a brick pillar next to a fallen tree. Midnight mayhem, police say, was caused by a 21-year-old woman who'd been drinking.
Well, certainly would appear that this young woman's gone and had some drinks with friends possibly, and then made that very serious mistake to drive home.
Police say she recorded a blood alcohol reading of 0.105. The woman lucky to escape uninjured, while residents whose cars were parked along Wentworth Park Road woke up to a rude shock.
This driver can expect to lose her licence for a very significant period, face a hefty fine, let alone the insurance bill.
While drink driving arrests are down because there are less cars on the road, police have still charged almost 5,000 people for driving under the influence in New South Wales so far this year.
Drink driving accounts for about 1 in 7 fatalities.
Police have granted the driver bail. She's due to front court in August. Tom Saker, 7 News.
Accused killer Ricardo Barbaro is coming down off a cocktail of drugs as he sits in his Melbourne jail cell tonight. The captured fugitive has been charged with murdering his girlfriend Ellie Price in the young mother's home.
Ricardo Barbaro was driven to Melbourne in the back of this police van. The accused murderer and fugitive was extradited from Sydney, where he was found after at least 10 days on the run. The supposed clean skin in a family with strong mafia links faced court charged with the murder of his girlfriend Ellie Price. He was represented by Gold Coast-based lawyer Campbell McCallum, who spoke prior to today's hearing.
Once the police did get a hold of him at the New South Wales apartment block, he was cooperative.
Investigators are still working to confirm when Ellie Price died. They allege Ricardo Barbaro killed her up to 5 days before the young mother's body was found in her South Melbourne home. The 33-year-old remained silent for most of the hearing. The only time he spoke was to tell the magistrate that he needed medical treatment for the use of psychiatric drugs, Xanax and Valium, medication he's been taking without a prescription. At this stage, police aren't looking to charge anyone for helping Ricardo Barbaro hide from police. Barbaro remains in custody, but a bail application will be considered.
It's important to note that the Barbaro family have been through quite a bit over the last number of years.
Ricardo Barbaro will return to court in September. Cameron Bowe, 7 News.
People languishing on the state's elective surgery waiting lists were told today it could be weeks before any decision on a full resumption is made. Some are already struggling through sleepless nights, their anxiety now raised. The backlog might not be cleared until next year.
In just 8 weeks of lockdown, our surgery wait list has reportedly blown out to more than 400,000 people. Among them, 25,000 cancer patients.
We're talking about everyday Australians with worsening conditions.
And while urgent surgeries continued, people like Jim Clues have had to wait.
In the last month, it's just got horrifically bad. You've just got to hope that drugs will ease the pain enough that you can sleep.
His hip replacement surgery, scheduled for last month, cancelled. Yesterday's announcement,
the boom is going up on elective surgery all around the country,
brought many like Jim some hope. That was till the Health Minister today revealed non-essential surgery is still on hold.
Hopefully we'll give some more clarity in the next week or two.
Once surgery is given the green light, the question is how to clear the backlog, with one study warning some on the list will have to wait until March next year for their procedure.
Every week I ring up in the last 3 weeks trying to get some answers, and all they say is no, we don't know when we're going back. You just get very anxious because you're not sure. You're unsure whether it's going to go another month or it's going to go another 6 months.
The AMA, though, says increased funding would slash wait times,
allowing the resources to run for longer and more continuously as we attempt to try and catch up.
Cameron Price, 7 News.
A man's been tasered by police after being accused of a shocking assault on a supermarket shopper in Sydney southwest. A 59-year-old woman was in the checkout line at Woolworths in Miller yesterday when she asked the man behind her to step back for social distancing. Police say he responded by hitting her over the head with a bottle. She was treated by paramedics and taken to Liverpool Hospital. He was arrested in a nearby park this morning and tasered when he threatened officers with a meat cleaver. Major lenders this week warned Sydney property prices could fall by almost a third during the pandemic, but there's been positive signs today. The market is so far holding firm. While there's been a surge in the number of homes for sale, there's also been an increase in families struggling to pay the mortgage.
This 4-bed, 2-bath home at Camperdown in hot demand under the hammer.
And it might be a long time till you get the opportunity to buy another home like this.
Snapped up for almost $250,000 over reserve.
All sold, congratulations, ma'am.
Exceeding expectations for siblings Christian and Amelia Clark.
We were pretty circumspect about whether this was the right time or not to do it.
It appears many now agree it is the right time, encouraged by easing restrictions. Realestate.com figures show an increase in the number of listings across all capital cities by almost 18% this week. In Sydney, the number of available properties is up 8%. Hobart, the only capital to see a fall.
I'm surprised we haven't seen more listings come to the market, to be honest with you. Seeing so many buyers in the market, we don't normally see 5 bidders per auction.
I think finance might get a little bit harder the closer we get to the end of the year, so they're buying properties while they still have access to those funds.
While finance is looking positive for potential home buyers, the same can't be said for all home owners, with banks deferring repayments for 1 in 14 Australian mortgages.
This is 429,000 Australian families who are feeling the impact financially.
Financial advisors, though, are warning a mortgage holiday could ultimately see you thousands of dollars worse off. They're urging those who can to shop around for a cheaper loan. Amber Laidler, 7 News.
Dozens of people have been struck down with severe food poisoning linked to a bakery in Melbourne. The salmonella outbreak left some customers so sick they needed hospital treatment. It's understood the cases all had something in common: the bakery's pork roll.
I don't get too sick too often, but this was really bad. I'd never experienced anything like this.
Victoria's Health Department's under fire for failing to issue a public warning. The White House is reportedly planning to restore partial funding to the World Health Organization. Leaked reports suggest it'll agree to pay only what China pays, meaning about 1/10 of its original contribution. And that comes as President Trump launches a new mission, Operation Warp Speed, to fast-track a virus vaccine by year's end.
Unveiling the flag for his new space-based military force.
I call it the Super Duper Missile.
Donald Trump was also aiming high on a coronavirus vaccine.
Operation Warp Speed. That means big and it means fast.
Detailing an ambitious plan to develop and distribute a viable option by the end of the year.
That means they better come up with a good vaccine because we're ready to deliver it.
Scientists are sceptical, saying the development and testing process would take at least 12 to 18 months. But the head of the president's mission says it is possible, with 14 options currently on the table and data from early clinical trials already in.
These data made me feel even more confident that we will be able to deliver a few 100 million doses of vaccine by the end of 2020.
When a vaccine is ready, the U.S. government will deploy every plane, truck and soldier required to help distribute it.
The president's pledge almost drowned out by trucks as drivers protested outside the White House.
That's the sign of love, not the sign of your typical protest.
Donald Trump says it would make sense for the first successful vaccines to be sent to the hardest hit states, like here in New York and neighbouring New Jersey, which have suffered more than 40% of America's COVID deaths. And should another country beat the US to a vaccine, he expects them to share.
We have no ego. Whoever gets it, we think it's great. We're going to work with them.
As Americans continue to work against their governments. This week, brothers in arms in the city of brotherly love.
I am not seeing democracy, I am seeing tyranny.
Protesters demanding the Pennsylvania governor end a statewide lockdown, as the president declared.
I just want to make something clear. It's very important. Vaccine or no vaccine, we're back.
In New York, Paul Kadak, 7 News.
Almost 200 residents and staff at a Queensland aged care facility have been tested for coronavirus after a nurse continued working while sick. She was stationed in the reception area while waiting for her COVID-19 test results to come back. Now, thankfully, all residents and staff have come back negative for the virus, but officials say they'll be tested again in 2 weeks. Almost 6 months after New Zealand's White Island disaster, one young Australian survivor has been given a welcome home to really fill your heart. Stephanie Browett was with her sister and dad when that volcano erupted. She was the only one who survived. Recovery is slow, but it's been boosted by a reunion with her best mate.
I love her. Is that Stephanie? Stephanie? Hi, Stephanie. Hi, Stephanie.
A body recovering, a heart full.
Welcome back home, darling.
A reunion 6 painful months in the making.
I love you. You've got me. You've got me. Oh my God, it's been so record.
Stephanie Browett back with best mate Arlo. He didn't need to see her face to know she was home.
Arlo.
Stephanie was given special day leave coinciding with Arlo's first birthday, her first time home since December.
I was on the White Island volcano when it erupted on the 9th of December 2019.
Her sister Crystal and dad Paul both died. 23-year-old Stephanie survived, but with severe burns to most of her body. There's been countless surgeries and she's learned to walk again. But with Mum, who'd stayed on board the cruise ship that awful day, and now Arlo.
Oh, I love you.
The long road, for a moment, is a little lighter. Proof healing doesn't always happen in hospital. Emma Dallymore, 7 News.
Well, Sally Barry's here now with the weather. Sal, good evening to you. Mostly sunny start to the weekend.
Yeah, that's right, Michael. We saw a bit of everything today. Sun, cloud and even a small shower here and there. It was a beautiful sunrise this morning at Cronulla as patches of cloud rolled through with the occasional burst of showers just cruising into the coast. We saw tops of 19 degrees along the coast there, while further south at Campbelltown today we saw tops of 21 degrees, a pretty bright sunny morning and then a bit of a cloudy finish to the day. The wettest spot in the state at the moment is in that northeastern corner. We've seen around 25 millimetres at Ballina and also 37 mils at Cape Byron. That will continue into tomorrow with more showers forecast thanks to those onshore winds. While in Sydney, cloud cover kept temperatures on the cooler side today. Right now it is 15 degrees at Badgerys Creek and also at Bondi. Sydney should see some more sunshine though into tomorrow. I'll be back with the 7-day forecast a little later, Michael.
Terrific, Sally, thank you. We've been given an exclusive look at a new tool identifying sharks in our waters. Next, the world-first trial keeping swimmers safe. Plus, a dangerous leak on a Sydney street, what caused a driver to slam into a gas main. A walk on the wild side, Mexico's Tiger King gets creative to hunt down a crafty fugitive. Later, springing back to life, we catch up with some furry friends thriving after their bushfire ordeal. And soon in sport, the 3 venues likely to host games when the NRL season restarts.
Mum put her life on hold for me. This is the one opportunity I have to give back to her.
The transformation that brings Jamie to tears.
I can't thank you enough for what you've done.
When she comes home, a mother's dream comes true. House Rules, Sunday at 7.
Physical distancing is working, so let's keep it up.
Moving forward, rules may change, but staying 1.5 metres apart will continue.
By doing this together, we'll stop the spread and we will save lives.
With vitamins and fibre, fresh Aussie Pink Lady apples are yours for the taking. Just don't take one from the bottom, or they'll all come. Appalachia! Now on sale at Aldi. Good. Different.
Goodie.
I missed it. Look at it.
How good do they look?
I thought you loved your ute.
Yeah. It's not a Ram.
Yeah, looks great. Sounds even better.
Nice truck, mate.
It's tax time. Stimulate your business now. Check your business's eligibility for the Government Instant Asset Write-Off for purchases made before June 30, 2020. The Ram 1500 pickup truck eats utes for breakfast.
A few days ago, John had muscle pain. Then he discovered Voltaren ML Gel. It relieves pain 2 times faster and reduces inflammation. Voltaren, the joy of movement.
Get AHM hospital cover from only $15.75 a week. It's that easy, so you can get back to doing whatever it is you like to do. Even that. Find out more and join AHM Direct today. AHM, the simple bit.
Wish you had internet that didn't let you down? That doesn't leave you hanging and won't have you missing any of the action? Get Vodafone NBN with 4G backup. Plans start from just $55 a month. And with free express delivery, connect instantly once you receive it. Buy online today at vodafone.com.au. Ready?
These home loan applications are impossible.
We should try St George.
It's an online application.
Oh, and helps just to tap away.
It's a St George thing.
Apply for your loan without leaving home. Search St George Home Loans.
At Harvey Norman, get 60 months interest-free and receive a bonus gift card up to the value of $500. The more you spend on 60 months interest-free, the greater the value of the bonus gift card. Shop for laptops, TVs, fridges, ovens, lounges, beds, flooring, bath vanities and so much more. Shop in our spacious stores or online. We're practicing social distancing to keep our community safe. Get 60 months interest-free and receive a bonus gift card valued at up to $500 now at Harvey Norman. Hurry, offer ends Tuesday.
Go! Autobahn have the deals you need to get working on your car this Friday and Saturday. 30% off all Penrite, 30% off all spare parts, and 30% off car audio. That's 30% off Penrite, spare parts and car audio. This Friday and Saturday only, in-store and online at Autobahn.
A driver has smashed his car into a gas main after losing control on a wet road and flying over a footpath. That was in West Pymble overnight. Gas was leaking into the street before the provider quickly shut off supply. Incredibly, the driver escaped injury with the front of his red Mazda reduced to a crumpled wreck. It's a world-first trial using drones equipped with artificial intelligence that can detect sharks and, more specifically, the exact species. With the same technology your smartphone uses to tag different people in pictures, these cameras are helping lifesavers keep everyone safe.
Lurking off our coast, a predator. High-tech drones quick to identify it as a bull shark. Here, the vision is a lot more blurry, not so for the artificial intelligence, spotting a small great white. These are the drones flying over 5 of the state's north coast beaches, telling lifesavers where the shadows in the sea are something you would want to meet face to face, or a potential threat.
We can now identify to species level at real time on what's swimming out there.
There is nowhere else in the world where they have this sort of technology operating.
The algorithm behind it has been developed by astrophysicists analysing texture and shape with a 95% success rate.
They're used by Facebook and Microsoft and Google to tag you in pictures, and you probably have them running on your phone right now.
The state government looking to roll the technology out across the state.
Move away from those false positives, so clearing the beach for a shark that we thought was a white shark and it ended up being a non-harmful species.
This 4.5 metre monster white shark tagged and released off Angels Beach in Ballina.
See you, big girl.
Our ultimate goal here is to integrate this new pioneering technology with our existing smart drum lines.
The next step for researchers, pairing the technology with drones that can fly themselves, relaying real-time information back to lifesavers and surf clubs. Smart backup from above, making beaches safer. Serena Andaloro, 7 News.
Have a look at these pictures. They're almost unbelievable. A Mexican cowboy chasing down a runaway tiger with a lasso. Here, there's no punchline. This actually happened. Friends, one with a chair, helped in the chase, but the lasso worked, the tiger appearing to be captured just as the video ends. While the mystery cowboy is being dubbed Mexico's Tiger King, it's unclear where the animal came from. Some are speculating it may be a pet of a cartel boss. Drunk drivers crashed into the worst place possible, ploughing straight through a closed garage door into a police station. Surprised officers inside casually approached him for a "please explain," where the 47-year-old told them he had fled a domestic dispute and intentionally drove into the station to air his grievances with police. Needless to say, he remains in their custody. He's excited to be on land, but after months at sea, a Canadian sailor has anchored in New Zealand to a coronavirus world that he knew nothing about. Bill Norrie left Canada 9 months ago, before COVID existed. His last stop, South Africa, 3 months back, when the outbreak had barely begun. His only contact, a satellite email saying something about flattening a curve.
I was the most isolated person on the planet. Ironic, they didn't want to let me in. Oh, it's too funny.
Well, officials decided there was no need for quarantine, but Bill's social distancing's about to widen again. He's setting sail back home. The pandemic has provided a glimmer of hope for some of our most vulnerable. Next, the plan to provide permanent housing for those sleeping rough. Plus one person dead and a car split in half. What led to this horror crash? An Aussie teacher's mission in Milan, his unique tricks to help kids learn in isolation. And the power of music. Our King of Country puts on a show Nashville will never forget. That's next.
This is what the world has been waiting for. Got bigger and crazier. That is a wow moment.
We're celebrating the extraordinary. Oh my God! Brand new Britain's Got Talent, Wednesday 7:30.
Tough times don't excuse tougher times at home. Even in crisis, there's no place for abuse or domestic violence. If you or someone you know is affected, help is available online and by phone 24/7. For free, confidential advice, support and counselling for women and men, contact 1-800-RESPECT. There's no place for abuse or domestic violence. Help is here. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
Right now, it's time to stay home. But don't ever stop dreaming of your next adventure. Because even though we're home for now, it won't be forever.
Having a home to feel safe in has never felt more important. And with home loan know-how from your local Rams home loan specialist, we can help you feel supported every step of the way. Rams, greater together.
The Nick Scali Autumn Sale is on now. Save on a great range of quality furniture for a limited time. The Nick Scali Autumn Sale on now.
Employees of Budget Direct. Over 20 years, you have become the country's most award-winning insurer, providing top-notch cover for more than 3 million Australians. Will you fight to save people on their car and home insurance? Who are you?
Proudly saving Australians on insurance for 20 years. Budget Direct. Insurance solved.
Is your home bursting at the seams? Time to call Storage King. With stalls everywhere, there's a location just around the corner. Temporary or permanent solutions with no lock-in contracts and contactless move-ins. Call now and let Storage King give you back some space.
Because you can't get to the gym, we'll bring the gym to you.
Bupa customers get 3 months access to 28 by Sam Wood on us. Bupa, because life happens. Learn more at bupa.com.au.
A young woman has been killed and a 23-year-old man's fighting for life after their car was split in half in a horror crash in Perth. The man was driving the Nissan Skyline when it collided with another car, killing the 21-year-old front seat passenger, leaving the vehicle in pieces across the road. He's in hospital with critical head and chest injuries. 3 young people in the other car were also hurt. Speed is thought to be a factor there. Millions of dollars is being spent to find permanent housing for many of Sydney's rough sleepers who've been staying in hotels during this lockdown. More than 1,200 people have been placed in temporary accommodation, providing a unique opportunity to help those most in need.
Some meetings can change the course of a life, like this one, and more than 20 others just like it in the same day.
We have an audience of people in the hotel. We can come to them, we know where they are, we can engage them and offer them the right supports that they need.
This hotel is one of several the state government has sequestered to house 1,200 rough sleepers since April 1.
We're providing an additional $3 million to Nemo National to assist with this next phase, and we're continuing to work hard with our specialist homelessness services.
They've contracted welfare group Nemo National to screen, interview and place as many as possible into social housing.
Many people wouldn't have actually known who to ask or where to get that support from. We have an amazing collaboration of agencies.
There are nearly 120,000 homeless people in Australia. About 7% or 8,000 sleep rough every night. One social worker told us about a man they placed in social housing whom they then found sleeping rough. When they asked him why, he said he liked the house for keeping clean and cooking meals but preferred sleeping on the street. And whilst there will always be a small percentage of people who do, the goal from the government and the welfare sector is to end homelessness in Australia. The pandemic has provided an unexpected and unique chance to help thousands all at once.
Sleeping rough is the least bad option that's available to some people. And the reason for that is it's not just a lack of housing, it's a lack of access to the support that people need.
It's estimated there are 16,000 children under 12 homeless in Australia. Brian Seymour, 7 News.
As schools around the world, including ours, slowly reopen, spare a thought for students, teachers and parents in Italy facing 6 months away from the classroom. For one Australian kindergarten teacher in Milan, keeping creative is helping them all get through.
Teaching Italian preschoolers how to speak English can be challenging enough. During a crisis, there's even more to translate.
Why they can't see their friends all of a sudden, why the teachers that they see every day are not there anymore, why can't they go see them, why are people wearing masks, they have so many questions.
Ross Phillips moved to Milan in November. Within months, the pandemic hit hard, schools closed and life changed dramatically. So too did the classroom. The kids, aged between just 2 and 5, take part in virtual assemblies. Ross makes up games to play at home.
So, if you want to try it.
Created his own online mini-series.
The Adventures of Toilet Rolls.
And an outdoor cinema for his neighbours. Milan was one of the first European cities to be put into lockdown in early March. The rest of Italy then quickly followed suit. Ross said he initially thought it would only last a few weeks, but more than 2 months on, schools are unlikely to reopen before September. As part of the country's Phase 2, shops, hair salons and restaurants can trade from Monday, and at least the days of being questioned by police for being outside are over.
I bumped into one of the families of my school, of my class, and that made my day. Those kind of things can happen now in the next 2 months.
In Milan, Sarah Greenolch, 7 News.
He's used to selling out stadiums, but country star Keith Urban has treated a private group to a concert like no other. The Aussie took over a drive-in, inviting nurses around Nashville for a well-deserved break from the safety of their cars.
In America, they call this a tailgate party. And Keith Urban sure knows how to throw one.
It's going to be a battle of the horns up here tonight. You win.
honking from their car seats at a closed-down drive-in, a flatbed truck, the stage, in a ready-made, open-air and COVID-safe concert.
They've even got the little mounds, so all the cars are tilted forward and they've all got a great view. And you've got this freaking killer video wall behind the stage.
For 75 minutes, Urban serenaded 200 special guests and made their selfies the feature film.
They were all doctors, nurses, healthcare workers, emergency responders. Everybody in that audience were given free tickets last night to come and, be thanked.
God bless you guys. God bless the U.S. God bless the healthcare workers.
Wife Nicole Kidman, there early, at a distance, snapped by one fan in a moon boot. Like most musicians, Keith Urban hasn't played a live show since February. This was a month in the making.
The fact that drive-ins still exist was the greatest discovery.
More artists are planning similar shows. The new live music scene for a while at least.
Thank you so much, and God bless the drive-ins. Come on!
Angela Cox, 7 News.
Well, there's a warning tonight over an unexpected consequence of the pandemic. Next, the worrying eye condition caused by too much screen time. Plus, all aboard, an historic Sydney steam train moves into the modern world. Later, helping some endangered natives get a spring in their step.
And the weather is warming up for the rest of the weekend. Sydney's forecast soon.
I'm signing you to the Home Secretary.
Very good, Mum.
I don't need you to vote for me, only to protect me. This is a very dangerous politician. There's been an inside man all along.
Bodyguard, Wednesday on 7.
At Coles, you can rely on us for your corn chips and for fixing your chipped bumpers. With Coles Comprehensive Car Insurance, you get quality repairs you can trust. Search Coles Car Insurance today.
Not now.
Right now, it's time to stay home. But don't ever stop dreaming of your next adventure. Because even though we're home for now, it won't be forever.
Dad!
Oh, sorry. It's funny.
Dad!
Party purpose. Shh.
Bring your family together. Introducing Optus Family Plan with 4 SIMs and 250 gigs of data to share.
Employees of Budget Direct, over 20 years, you have become the country's most award-winning insurer, providing top-notch cover for more than 3 million Australians. Will you fight to save people on their car and home insurance? Who are you?
Proudly saving Australians on insurance for 20 years. Budget Direct. Insurance solved.
The Australian government is working hard to keep businesses in business and Australians in jobs. That's why we've introduced the JobKeeper payment. If you're a business severely impacted by the coronavirus, you'll receive a fortnightly payment of $1,500 for each eligible employee to cover their wages. For employees, it will allow millions of Australians to keep their job, including those who've been stood down. To find out more, visit australia.gov.au, authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
When we look back on these days, let's remember what we found. Because when all we have is time, what we find is each other. We're here to support you. We can. Together.
Sing along with John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John in the greatest musical of all time, Grease, tonight on 7.
Police haven't had any luck yet tracking down Sydney's museum adventurer, despite clear security video of him on a 40-minute illegal tour. He broke into the Australian Museum last weekend, taking selfies and walking out with a hat that he picked up along the way. Police believe he's in his early 20s and are hoping someone will identify him. The state government's construction blitz is continuing with a major redevelopment in North Sydney. St Leonard's will be the site of a $160 million facelift set to create 300 new jobs. The proposal includes more homes, retail outlets, cafes and restaurants, as well as upgraded parks. It's part of the government's planning acceleration program to keep the economy moving through the pandemic. One of the unexpected side effects of the pandemic is a significant rise in dry eye syndrome, especially among young people. The condition causes irritation and, in some cases, serious inflammation triggered by too much screen time.
Usher Harris has been suffering for as long as she can remember.
Yeah, ever since I was little, I've had just issues with my eyes.
The 18-year-old has dry eye syndrome. It's simply a lack of moisture on the surface of the eye, but it can be debilitating and cause serious and permanent damage.
We tend to see it more in elderly people, but it's becoming a lot more frequent in young people, and that's a concern.
Dr. Daryl Baker says with children spending so much time on screens, it's changing how their eyes work.
Our natural blink rate tends to slow down when we're on the computer. The lack of blinking diminishes the lubrication effect.
If I've been using my phone or on a computer all day, it just definitely has an impact.
Treatment for dry eye varies patient to patient. This mask is one of the extreme methods used by optometrists, referred to as red light treatment. Other treatments include IPL, or intense pulsed light therapy, which is the most advanced treatment available.
Typically, patients will be assessed individually and will have a personalised plan designed for them.
Brittany Hoskins, 7 News.
She's 77 years old and gets very hot and steamy. Now the pride of the state's historic train fleet, the 3801, has just been put through a major registration test between the Hawkesbury River and Cowan in Sydney's north. The test involved hauling a 318-tonne train on wet tracks up a steep grade.
Really pleased to advise that the locomotive has passed with flying colours.
The 3801's relaunch has been on hold because of COVID. It was one of the most harrowing images from our Black Summer, our starving native wildlife. Now, a story of survival as some bushfire-ravaged wallabies take a giant leap. The mission to save them, a huge success. See their progress soon here on 7 News. But first, Jim Wilson's back with sport. Jim, good evening to you. Des Hasler, on board with the NRL.
He is, Michael. Good evening to you. Evening, everyone. Coming up, we'll hear from Manly's master coach on a range of issues as we get set for Thursday week's season restart. As the Sea Eagles prepare for the Bulldogs in round 3, and Desi as he preys on Kieran Foran. And spectacular pictures from country New South Wales of the outback rower who set her sights on Olympic glory. That's next.
So let's be really clear, is that the murder weapon?
A 7 News investigation uncovered it all.
I cannot make a link.
Scott Osdick's murder conviction. One of the greatest miscarriages of justice.
He was wrongfully convicted.
Now, a major breakthrough. The conviction set aside. A retrial ordered.
All we've ever said from day one is that he didn't get a fair trial.
Monday, the exclusive special report.
Someone did something and Dad got the blame for it.
Piece by piece, the holes, the planted evidence.
I wished he was there.
7 News presents Framed Monday.
You've been gone 6 years.
Do you recall anything from your time in captivity?
No.
Your DNA was found on the body.
You think I put myself in the tank?
Castle Stana Katic in the riveting new series. Adventure starts Tuesday on 7.
As this year continues to be a challenging one for all of us, NRMA Insurance remains dedicated to helping Australians. We've introduced a customer help program with a range of relief options to assist customers currently in need. If you're experiencing financial hardship, call us today to find out how we can tailor help options for you.
If you're looking for a simple home loan with a great low rate, then walk this way. With a Rams Essential Home Loan, you can enjoy both. Backed by our famous silver service. Rams, greater together.
I can clear out the halls and sort out food, but they will never relieve our cough.
Oh, Rex Vapor Drop Splash Cough can do that now. Move along, nothing to see here. Rex Vapor Drop Splash Cough.
The Nick Scali Autumn Sale is on now. Save on a great range of quality furniture for a limited time. The Nick Scali Autumn Sale on now.
Come on, everyone! In the front!
Donate some of your data to kids who need it most and power their potential.
With Toyota Warranty Advantage covering you for at least 5 years, still feeling it, Mick?
Toyota value stays with you, like Kluger two-wheel drive GX Auto. Drive away from $41,990. Older feeling. Toyota.
Introducing BP Rewards. Now you can earn points with every BP purchase.
BP Rewards.
Use BP points to spend in store.
BP Rewards.
Or get dollars off fuel.
BP Rewards.
BP Rewards.
Or you can choose to earn Qantas points.
Now that's what I call BP Rewards.
Totally BP Rewards.
Start earning today. BP Rewards. Your rewards, your way.
Tonight, COVID cons on the rise, the new scams during the rounds, and back to Bali when borders are expected to reopen. The latest from 7 News at 7.
Welcome back, everyone. Manly coach Des Hasler has joined Wayne Bennett in calling on clubs just to get on with the game and forget the contentious rule changes. Hasler and the Seagulls will take on his old club, the Bulldogs, tomorrow fortnight, and he's wary of potentially facing Kieran Foran. One referee, the 6-again restart rather than a penalty, and a raft of other rule changes. It's a whole new ball game in the NRL, but Des Hasler says clubs need to embrace it.
At the end of the day, we shouldn't get hung up on it. I think the 6 again is there, I think, to help the referee. It's there to protect the referee.
Hasler says he doesn't expect to be playing at Brookvale for weeks. They face Canterbury on Sunday, May 31, and then the Eels on Saturday, June 6. Des knows a Bulldogs side with Kieran Foran steering the ship will be formidable.
He's a lot of footy left in Kieran Foran, and he's just such a competitor. People don't quite understand just how mentally strong he is. So he's been through a bit, and he's certainly resilient.
Sevens League expert and Origin enforcer Trevor Gilmeister has welcomed the rule changes, but doesn't want a penalty fest when the competition resumes.
It's going to be a bit of an adjustment for the referees, mate, and hopefully there's not too many penalties blown, especially in these first couple of rounds.
While this time in a fortnight, Benji Marshall's West Tigers will take on the Sharks. The game is likely to be played in Campbelltown, while Bankwest Stadium in Parramatta and Gosford will also host games when the season restarts. Well, after completing more than 1,200 coronavirus tests, the AFL has revealed no players or staff have tested positive for COVID-19. Perth and Adelaide teams who've been forced into hubs on the Gold Coast are already calling for an easier run home to the finals.
I wouldn't mind Collingwood playing a home game at the Gold Coast. I would have thought if we play multiple games at home at the back end of the season, because we play multiple games away in the front end, it's just common sense.
Now, players including the Swannies and the Giants will return to clubs for training from Monday. The Cummings dynasty has continued in racing's Goodwood in Adelaide this afternoon. The great Santa Ana Lane couldn't become the first two-time winner in more than a century, but with trekking, James Cummings continued a proud training legacy.
Trekking's after Geelong. It's in front, Geetra and Trekking. Trekking got up to win final stride.
James's great-grandfather Jim trained the Goodwood winner twice. His grandfather Bart did it 4 times. Now at Flemington, the Mick Price trained Ocean X won the Andrew Ramsden to book a place in this year's Melbourne Cup. Western Australia has made a bold bid to host India's entire tour of Australia next summer. With the tour in doubt because of COVID-19 travel restrictions, Western Australia cricket boss Christina Matthews has made a formal offer to Cricket Australia to turn Perth into a hub, but they face competition, with the top Indian Cricket Board official saying Virat Kohli's team would instead be open to playing the whole series in a biosecure Adelaide Oval. The tour is worth a reported $300 million to Cricket Australia. Daniel Ricciardo's new boss says he was always McLaren's choice, despite four-time world champion Sebastian Vettel's availability after departing Ferrari. McLaren has wanted the Aussie star for years, but had to convince Ricciardo their rebirth would be successful.
We went after him a couple of years ago before he made the decision not to join us. We're a team on the move, and I think he's going to help get us to the next level.
Ricciardo's move from Renault is worth a reported $60 million over 2 years. Well, during this health crisis, so many Aussie stars have invited us into their home to show how they're getting on with it. This one is extreme. In the state's far northwest, drought-breaking rain provided relief for desperate farmers and an outback oasis for a rower chasing gold.
That's not a mirage, it is a ute carrying a single skull to the most unlikely training ground for any elite rower anywhere in the world.
3 months ago, there was, nothing on the ground behind me. It essentially looked like we lived on the moon.
This lake's been bone dry for 15 years.
We've got a pretty unreal 2k stretch of water out there to row around on.
To get there, leave Sydney, drive 855 k's through Walgett and Brewarrina and keep going to Bullabulali, the Fessy family sheep and cattle property. How did this place possibly produce the stroke of Australia's 2018 World Championship bronze medal winning eight?
I think I've learnt just so much of the values that farmers have. I would like to take that into my values as an athlete, and I think a lot of people in the community should as well.
And her message, don't forget our people in the bush. Between mustering cattle, one-arm chin-ups and shearing sheep, Emma can dream of Olympic gold, reassured by the enormous financial support for Aussie rowing.
How lucky we are to have Gina Reinhardt and Hancock Prospecting behind us. Your financial and pastoral help has just been phenomenal.
From far and wide, eventually they'll repay the faith in Tokyo. Matt Carmichael, 7 News.
What a fantastic story. I mean,
there are just so many good things in that story.
Absolutely. Emma shot all that herself. Yeah. I mean, the drone. I mean, look at this.
There,
Isn't it great to see some rain? I mean, they need more of it, but gee, it's spectacular. We're so lucky in this country. I mean, it's great to see some green grass there, but good luck to Emma and, yeah, fantastic story.
Marvellous story.
Yeah.
Jim, thank you for that.
Thank you, Michael.
Well, one of the many heartbreaking images from our Black Summer bushfires, one that stands out, is the urgent airdrop of vegetables to save starving native wildlife. It was called Operation Rock Wallaby, you might remember. Well, tonight we can report it was an overwhelming success.
Ravaged by bushfires, the heart of the Kangaroo Valley is springing back to life. Conservationists from New South Wales Parks and Wildlife pulling off the impossible. The local colony of endangered brush-tailed rock wallabies has not only survived, but now thrives.
The sweet potatoes literally save these wallabies, so it just shows that it pays to eat your veggies.
You might remember Operation Rock Wallaby. A rescue mission making headlines around the world. 100 kilograms of sweet potato and carrot loaded up. Sweet relief falling from the sky. A long-lasting food source for wallabies on the ground, their habitat yet to recover.
During the bushfires, the food sources for these wallabies was destroyed, so we needed to get involved and do food drops directly to the affected wallabies.
Parks and Wildlife has since been nurturing and tracking the population and has good news.
The population of the brush-tailed rock wallabies at Kangaroo Valley survived, and in fact we've just found a new joey, so it's a wonderful story.
A sweet sign of a fresh start. Serena Andaloro, 7 News.
A rare little swimmer has had his first paddle, popping his head up from the pond with mum. This is in the San Diego Zoo, and it's their latest new addition. The endangered pygmy hippopotamus was born last month. The first successful pygmy hippo birth at the zoo in more than 30 years. Doesn't yet have an official name, but zookeepers have been calling him Kobe. Now, Sally Barry's back. And Sal, how's the rest of the weekend looking?
Michael, things are set to warm up a touch. I'll have Sydney's 7-day forecast next.
Hello, Angela. I have been watching you.
Whether I'm right
I came from Africa with nothing but a suitcase.
or whether I'm wrong.
My family is everything. I love my children. At home, I'm a mom. At work, I'm a boss. I can be all that and more.
I gotta be me.
I am Big Brother, and I've chosen you. Welcome to my brand new house.
Big Brother has met his match. You better come prepared because I don't back down.
Oh no, Angela. It is you who should be prepared for what I have planned.
I want to be the last one standing. I'll do anything to win.
Oh really? How do you plan to eliminate the others?
I'll sweet talk you during the day and I'll vote you out at night with a smile. Mean, but I like it.
I am Big Brother. Who wins? You decide.
At Allianz, we're offering a range of practical support measures for our current eligible small business customers experiencing financial hardship due to the COVID-19 pandemic, like premium payment deferrals for up to 6 months on eligible policies. And if your business premises are unoccupied because of COVID-19, we'll maintain your cover. We're committed to supporting your business now and into the future, because our support doesn't stop here. Search Allianz or contact your broker to see if you qualify.
At Nature's Own, we know that fatigue can be either physical or mental. Nature's Own sleep and energy range can help you improve the quality of your sleep or support energy production throughout your day.
Your body's hot.
Nature's Own. Be body smart.
If dry or flaky skin is causing you frustration and embarrassment, try E45 cream. It soothes and relieves by creating an effective barrier to protect against skin dryness. Feel comfortable in your skin. Switch to E45.
During the Nick Scali Autumn Sale, the 100% leather ruler 3-seater with chaise is now $29.90. Save $2,000. The Nick Scali Autumn Sale on now. Hurry.
There's a glass and a half in everyone.
The stylish Haval H2, a globally engineered, European-designed and feature-packed SUV. From just $22,990 drive away, Haval H2 Auto. New car thinking.
The weekend social experiment. With restrictions lifted, how did we do? The results are in Monday. As Aussies embrace online like never before, click your way to a bargain. The watch out warning for scams. And could this crisis make the office a thing of the past? And as the new day breaks, get the breaking news
Growing concerns about reopening too soon.
and the critical announcements on Sunrise.
At 7 p.m, travel timeline. Will our borders reopen sooner than expected? And the Australian industry struggling to fill job vacancies. That's the latest from 7 News next.
Tonight's 7 News headlines. Many Sydney-siders are enjoying a Saturday night out with warnings we must stick to social distancing or risk losing our newfound freedom. The federal government's working on a scheme to help small business owners pay their staff when JobKeeper ends. Police say a woman had been drinking before crashing into parked cars, leaving a trail of wreckage. And a young survivor of the New Zealand volcano disaster has arrived home to the warmest of welcomes, meeting her best friend. Now, Sally's back with the weather.
Thanks, Michael. Well, we saw a bit of everything today. Some sun, plenty of cloud, and for the coast, the odd patchy shower as well. Today, we reached a top of 18.5 when the sun broke through those clouds after a fairly fresh low this morning of 11 degrees. There wasn't a great deal of difference temperature-wise across the suburbs today. Tops of 19 degrees for most, a warmer 21 degrees at Campbelltown, and also just a spit of rain for a handful of suburbs along the coastal areas and also around Sydney Olympic Park and Terry Hills. On the satellite, not much cloud to speak of at the moment. A few areas of low cloud just along the coast. That's with those moist onshore winds driving the odd shower or two into that northeastern pocket. Tomorrow, a high will keep skies cloud-free across the southeast. So most of those inland areas are going to see a pretty cool start tomorrow, maybe some inland frost and fog as well. Around the capitals, Brisbane heading for a mostly sunny one tomorrow. Tops of 25 degrees, 2 degrees tonight in Canberra, warming up to 17. Melbourne heading for a top of 17 degrees tomorrow. Hobart 15. Adelaide, plenty of sunshine with tops of 20 degrees and 22 degrees expected tomorrow in Perth. Taking a closer look across the state tomorrow, there will be a bit of rain just around that northeastern corner once again. That's where the showers will persist. Byron could pick up a further 15 millimetres. Also some possible showers in Newcastle with tops of 21 degrees, and it will be sunny in Tamworth with a top of 21 as well. It'll drop down to just 7 degrees in Penrith tonight, so a fairly fresh one. Areas of fog also possible just across the western suburbs to start off the day. It'll burn off fairly quickly though once the sun comes out. Partly cloudy skies are expected in Liverpool with tops of 21 degrees tomorrow. Cooler 19 degrees expected at Terry Hills. On the water tomorrow, we can expect westerly winds gusting up to 30 knots. They'll swing more southwesterly in the afternoon with swell just sitting around that 1.5 metre mark. Now, in the city tonight, we can expect lows of around 12 degrees, warming up to 21 tomorrow with partly cloudy skies. Things will fine up as we head into next week. Tops of 21 on Monday, light winds and 22 on Tuesday, 25 degrees on Wednesday. Those winds will swing to the south again into the end of the week, so showers will start up, but we're not expecting major falls. So all in all, a pretty nice week, Michael.
Looks okay. All right, Sal. Thank you for that. And that is 7 News for this Saturday. We'll have updates for you throughout the evening, and the latest with Mel Doyle is next. I'm Michael Usher from all the team here. Thank you so much for your company. Have a great Saturday night.
Tonight, the first weekend of freedom across the nation. What's open?